For many people living with forms of dementia, the world can slowly become unfamiliar. But through music, moments of joyful recognition can still break through. Dementia remains the current leading cause of deaths in the UK. This is something my family have experienced too.
Right. Okay, so this is my great-grandfather George. I always called him Georgie Porgy after the nursery rhyme. And unfortunately, he passed away from dementia when I was very little. We would often go and visit him as a family in his care home, and naturally I never obviously understood that he had dementia because I was too young. He was just my granddad, and it was normal that he didn't remember things, and often he wouldn't remember us as well. But because I was innocent to his condition, I would say that me and him probably had the most fun relationship. I would often play football with him, and I would pretend that I was his favourite West Ham player, or we would be singing and he would always remember the lyrics to his favourite songs, adding in a few swear words here and there, of course, which made it his own version. And even at his funeral, we all had to sing his version of his favourite songs to honour that and honour him. And this idea of music helping him always kind of stuck with me. So when I got older and started playing instruments myself and became massively into music, it became a big part of my life. And I was always fascinated with how music had the ability to help people in so many different ways, but especially with dementia. So now I'm on a personal journey to explore its impacts, and also I want to try and get involved as much as possible, in helping. This is not just an old person's condition that we hear a lot of people say. So I'm off to find out more about this and talk to the people that are at the centre of this issue.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Together in Sound is a music therapy group held in Saffron Walden Hall. The sessions, which run for 10 weeks, centre around cognitive musical exercises, which help to stimulate emotional memory. This can persist hours beyond the session and also trigger feel-good hormones. Leading the sessions are training music therapy students studying at Anglia Ruskin University, alongside music director Barbara Duckworth.
A typical session has consistent marks to it which help people to familiarise with what's happening. So we set up the therapeutic space and mark the beginning always with the hello song. And it becomes really familiar to people. It's like a little anchor that helps to understand where they are. And we'll improvise around themes sometimes, or just what's the feeling in the room. Another part is singing songs, familiar songs, which aid with reminiscing, and unfamiliar songs, which also are very good for cognitive exercise. So the point of the sessions is to have a social space, a therapeutic space. It's confidential. The group are consistently together for across 10 weeks and longer. So they are free in a non-judgmental space to be themselves.
The singing sessions support both patients and families, including David, who still attends despite losing his wife to leukemia last year.
So my wife Rosemary, who was the chief district nurse in this area, who had blood cancer for a number of years, 20 years, she gradually developed Alzheimer's. And so we were encouraged to go to Together in Sound, because it's music therapy especially for people with Alzheimer's. The thing that absolutely amazed me was the way music has got the ability to cut through many of the things we associate with Alzheimer's. For instance, quite a lot of people in the care home that my wife was in didn't speak, or I'm not sure whether they couldn't speak or didn't want to, but when we had a music session, they were singing, and I thought, why is it people who can't speak can sing? Music songs bring so much remembrance of the way life used to be. Well, I would say how life still can be, actually, because dementia is not a death sentence. It's just, it means you have to change your way of life.
I'm heading to the BBC in London to meet Charlie Quirk. His mother, Pauline Quirk, famous actress best known from the hit comedy Birds of a Feather, has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Charlie began a project called Charlie's Trek, in which he walked for 5 days across 5 counties, raising over £250,000 for Alzheimer's Research UK. Since then, he has been using his platform to shine a light on how important it is to talk about the effects of dementia.
Quite a private family, but going public with mum's diagnosis I think was important because we realised how common it is. So then we aligned with Alzheimer's Research UK, who are obviously the leading charity in research and funding to find a cure, which is what we believe is what it's all about. And they came up with this idea of, doing a long trek. I said, I'd love to retrace my mum's steps because she's crossed paths with so many people and inspired so many people. And then we had the idea to start in Chigwell from where Birds was set and work our way through to where my family live now, and sort of more of the nice idea of it behind it, and having people telling their stories about mum. And it just, well, as you saw, it just snowballed. I don't think people will get involved until they go through it. I think it's a really difficult thing to go through. But yes, I think everyone should understand more about it. I think everyone should know the stat that 1 in 2 people will be directly affected. But I think we, as a generation, should be taught more about lifestyle and health choices and food, and the food we're being given in this country, in the packaging and stuff. But I could go on for hours about that. But I think there's more that people could learn about with understanding it from looking forward, but not, if they're not in it, it's hard to understand it on that level. But I think from a health basis, I think there's more people could know, yeah.
After meeting with Charlie, I decided to research further into the current statistics of dementia in the UK.
I'm just having a look now on Alzheimer's Research UK's website, and currently just under 1 million people are living with dementia in the UK, which is costing the country around £42 billion a year. And, the heartbreaking thing is that over 45% of dementia cases can be prevented, but it's only getting worse because the number of people predicted to get dementia is rising every year. 98% of people could improve looking after their brain. And this is why learning about benefits of alternative therapies like music is so important, because it's quite literally saving lives and can prevent this disease.
Here in Romford, the Dementia and Social Care Club is held every Wednesday, offering those with dementia and their carers a social space and a chance to enjoy live music. I spoke to Roger Fall, a retired social worker who now volunteers here. He shared with me some of the challenges a non-profit group like this faces.
What I find that there's not enough funding. We are a charity group and we rely on people, either paid members or right into organisations to try and get some funding. Very, very difficult in today's standards, and I think that the government really should be putting their hand in their pocket to try and help us out in this, because it's something that's needed. People are living longer, and dementia is one of those things that is rife.
Pam Jackson has been attending here for 2 years with her mother-in-law Madge, who has dementia. She also expressed her concern for needing more affordable and accessible music groups.
The Alzheimer's Society were offering this daycare, but that was costing about £100 a day. And I just thought, well, that is ridiculous. She didn't want to go in that sort of environment where she's told to do this, that and the other. She was still pretty capable at that point. And then I was driving home one day past this church and saw the sign on the fence saying, the Dementia Music and Social Club. I came in to this fantastic atmosphere of George getting the crowd going. Everyone was playing little instruments, had hats on, garlands, everything, and the music was fantastic and everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. It is such a friendly, lovely group.
So today I'm on my way to meet Rob and Mark. They are both music directors. They work for a music charity called Time, which stands for Together in Musical Expression. And they have kindly invited me to one of their sessions today at Peaceful Place here in Essex. So yeah, I'm excited to go and meet them and talk a bit about what they do. And hopefully I'll get involved in having a little sing-song myself.
What's your name? Hello everyone.
Every session at Together in Musical Expression starts with this hello song. Something as simple as this encourages the group to introduce themselves in a fun, relaxed way, which in return prompts positive, long-lasting effects for people's memory.
You look upon other mate. Good job, yes.
The charity was set up at the beginning of lockdown, founded by Mike, Mark and Rob. The three musicians decided to use their talents to help people, and now they travel around Essex providing workshops like this for people with dementia and special needs.
Each session feels a little bit different, and I can't wait to see those reactions when we start the hello songs. It's always just that little anticipation, a bit like before you're going on stage, if you're playing in a band or whatever, like what's the reaction going to be like? You play that hello song, you know certain characters that are going to engage, but then there might be someone you've been seeing for 6 months, every week, very reticent, withdrawn character, but something that week clicked in them and they want to interact and they want to come towards the microphone or play an instrument or stand up and dance, and those opportunities are always around the corner. So it's generally just that anticipation, that excitement for each session that we attend. I've always wanted to work in a capacity and an environment that I enjoy. I think that's really important in life, to dedicate and spend enough time thinking, what do I enjoy doing, and do that as often as possible. I got into guitar. I love playing music. I love playing in bands. But once I came into this environment and started to interact with others in a musical setting and capacity, that was an absolute game changer. Well, you can, first and foremost, we gain benefit from music as well. You know, that's what changed our lives. We got into certain records, certain bands, so we feel the therapy of music. And we wondered and worried how many people out there, how many untapped moments, how many people are missing out on these sessions and that interaction from music, because they worry that music's this unattainable thing. So to try and break those barriers down, those boundaries, and make people realise they've got something to offer is huge job satisfaction.
We can go into a session and someone can maybe be quite scared or aggressive because we're strangers. Once we start singing a song, they complete their whole demeanour, their body language changes, and it's like, wow, it's like a temporary medicine. This is doing something that a pill can't do. This needs to be celebrated so much more than and that's what we're trying to do. You know, each session at a time, we're trying to grow and expand. But the sessions are really just pure joy and all about people expressing themselves. But the main thing, having fun. Life can be very serious, and especially in this environment, it can be scary. It can be, so to have a bit of respite, a bit of fun for an hour, 2 hours, to give people that opportunity is, a beautiful thing.
As we've seen throughout this experience, music has the power to reach people living with dementia in ways that medicine alone cannot. Yet, despite this, access to music therapy remains underfunded and determined by postcodes. If we truly value dignity in care, and not only for patients, but for caregivers, volunteers and music therapists, then more recognition and action is needed. We do not have a cure for dementia, but music can definitely help prolong people's lives.
Bring me some